Hey guys, we're back with Seth Gordon, the Associate Artistic Director of the Repertory Theatre of St. Louis, and we've been talking about soups, stews, and casseroles for the hungry soul.
Yes.
Great event that's coming up, 70s theme. We talked about a little bit about the food. Tell us about the chefs that will be cooking and preparing meals for.
The chefs are taken from a book that is just coming out, St. Louis Chefs Volume 2, which I'm going to take on faith is a continuation of what they were covering in Volume 1.
Right.
I'm going with that theory. So these are some of the finest chefs in our area. And so everything will be from local chefs, including, I mentioned before, Dr. Dan the Pancake Man. Who,
yeah, I can't forget about him.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that one. And then everything will be on the theme of soups and stews and casseroles.
Sounds
so it'll
good.
be comfort food. Hopefully it'll be a nice crisp evening. Good. So we'll enjoy the food very much.
You guys don't want to miss that event, but you also have something else coming up called Ignite.
I mentioned in our last segment that Soup, Stews, and Casseroles 1976 was commissioned by the Repertory Theatre, especially for us to perform. Ignite is our new play development arm. It allows us to commission plays like this one and like many others, and to develop them. We have a reading series where our audience gets to come and see readings of plays that are still in process, and then they get to talk with the playwright immediately after the reading and let them know, here's what we think was successful, here's what we think you still have to work on. So it's what I like to call a backstage tour of the creative process, and it's a great way for our audience to actually meet the playwrights and get a good sense of the kind of work that's involved in putting a brand new play together. And then we produce these plays later in later seasons. And so then, like with many people who saw the reading of Soup, Stews, and Casseroles 1976 when it was still a work in progress, they now get to see the finished product.
That's great.
And it's almost like witnessing someone's birth and then going to their college graduation.
Oh, that's great.
You can say, I was there.
Right. Now, we mentioned during the break that you've been here in St. Louis for about 4 years.
Yes, this is my fourth season with the
How do you, I guess, rate the theater scene here because you come from New York,
yes.
where theaters is...
It's an okay theater town, New York.
Oh, really? So how do you rate St. Louis?
I was kidding.
I know.
I was surprised, I have to say. I was very pleasantly surprised to see how vibrant and active and interesting the St. Louis theater scene was. It's not just the Repertory Theatre. There are many theaters here. There are all sorts of different theaters that do different types of theater. There's musical theater. There's theater on all sorts of ethnic themes. And there's really something for everybody to enjoy. And this is a lovely, vibrant, exciting city. And I'm a New Yorker, so everything by comparison is a little bit smaller, of course. But St. Louis has everything New York has.
Great. And then the play that is coming up right after Soup, Stews, and Casseroles is?
They actually run concurrently. We have two spaces. So Soup, Stews, and Casseroles 1976. I mentioned it before. It's a family. It's about a family, so it requires a more intimate space. And so it's in our Emerson Studio Theater. We also have a main stage theater, much larger, and we're doing in that a play called Noises Off, which will start the following week.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Noises
Off is a British play, and it is, in my personal view, one of the funniest plays ever written in the English language. It's a very simple setup. It's just a bunch of actors and a director who are trying to put a play together. You can imagine everything that can go wrong, possibly go wrong, does. The first part of the play, they're trying to rehearse it. The second part of the play, the set spins around and you see what's happening backstage as they actually perform the play. Then the set spins again and you go back to the front and you get to see the play the performance you saw from backstage, you get to see from the front.
Oh, wow.
And so it's actually the one time when we're hoping everything that can possibly go wrong does, so that you can enjoy it.
Exactly, so kind of making fun of yourselves.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's good to have a good sense of humor about yourself.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here today. You guys
My
have
pleasure.
so much for us to enjoy. You guys don't want to miss Soups, Stews, and Casseroles for the Hungry Soul. It's happening March 10th at 6 p.m. at the Repertory Theatre of St. Louis. It's 130 Edgar Road, Webster Groves, Missouri. For more information, you want to go to repstl.org, or you can check out 314 or call 314-968-4925. Don't move. We'll be right back with more STL TV Live.